All right, Shabbat Shalom. It looks like we are streaming on Facebook. I'm going to check the YouTube in just a moment. All right, looks like we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on those platforms, and I apologize for the delay. I'm glad you were able to stick around, or if you got a notification and you're just joining us now, I'm so pleased that you can be joining us in prayer this morning. It is a beautiful Shabbat day, and we have a wonderful service planned for this morning. We'll begin as we usually do with Hine Matov, how good and how wonderful it is that we are all here praying together. You can join with me out loud. If you're in your home, nobody can hear you except for those who already live with you. And if they've stuck with you through this pandemic, then I don't think you need to worry about them leaving over some bad singing. Or maybe you have wonderful singing and you can join with us and share your wonderful singing on this Shabbat morning. הנה מה טובו מנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טובו מנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. We continue as with every day with our morning blessings. We begin with a blessing for tzitzit. My talit I left at the office this morning, so you are welcome to put on your talit, your tzitzit this morning with the following blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitpatech b'tzitzit. Mode ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezavta b'nishmati behemla, behemla raba emunatecha. I offer thanks to you, ever-living sovereign, for you have mercifully restored my soul within me. How great is your trust? Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. The space in which you are praying, whatever that space may be, whether it is your home, whether it is a sanctuary, whether it is your pool in your backyard, it is a sacred space because you are sanctifying it by your presence and your prayer. We continue with the daily blessings in which we thank God for all of the miracles that we experience every single day. I'll begin in Hebrew, and you can finish each blessing with me in Hebrew or in English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yitzar et hadam b'chokhmah. Baruch atah uvarav. I'm getting mixed up already with the prayers. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yitzar et hadam b'chokhmah. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, u'v'rabo nekavim, nekavim, paludim, paludim. Galui v'yadua lifnei chisei chivudecha. Creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory, she'imi pateach achad mehem, o yisatem echad mehem, hi-efshar lehitkayem v'la'amod lefanecha. That if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Baruch atah Adonai hofech kol basar u'mafli la'asot. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Elohai neshama shematata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzavta, ata nifachta bi, ve'ata neshamera, neshamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me. You protect it within me, for as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai asher biyado nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol basar ish. Now we take a moment to thank God for the blessings each day. This is the section in which we begin in Hebrew, and you may conclude each blessing in Hebrew or in English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasak bibina, להבחין בין יום ובין לילה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המעביר שאינה מעיניי ותמונה מעפעפיי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני בצלם אלוהים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, who has made me free. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוזר ישראל בגבורה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, who crowns Israel with splendor. And each day we take a moment to study the teachings of Torah, beginning with the Chamesh, the 5 books of Moses, with expanding to the entire Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, as well as the Mishnah, the Talmud, the codes, all of the texts of classical Jewish learning that combined form our understanding of Torah. And we begin with a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Elu devarim she'en lahem shiur. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, separating our opening prayers with the central prayers of our service. Yikadash Shemeh Haba, V'Hama Divrat Kehutei V'Yamlich Malchutei, B'Chayechom U'Vyomechom, U'B'Chayei D'Chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Ba'agala, U'Bizman Chaviv, V'Imeru, Amen. יהא שמך במברך, לעולם ועד מעלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. We continue now with the Baruch Hu. As I ask the congregation to please rise, you may rise physically if you are able, or you may rise in your heart if it is difficult to physically rise. As we direct our hearts toward Jerusalem, toward our historic connection to God, and toward God as well. Please rise. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Or Chadash al Zion Ta'ir. Or Chadash al Zion Ta'ir. ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאור. ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאור. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hameorot. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. At dawn I seek you, my rock, my refuge. Where light meets dark, I judge myself. Faced with your grandeur, I stand astonished and timid, for your eyes see all the thoughts in my heart. My heart and my tongue fail me. What is the source of my strength, and what the spirit within me? So I will raise my voice in poems of praise to you, in gratitude for the breath of God you have placed within me. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. If it is your custom to remain standing through the V'ahavta, you may be seated at this time. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'adecha. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשבתם לאור ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשחריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף הלב. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמך שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופתח נאומך יהודה וישראל. גורלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל. We rise now for the Amidah. Adonai sefatatika ufiyagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני מכל. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקיש. בשמך אלוהינו מתהילו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. To all generations we will declare your greatness. For all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. On this Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. We continue now in silent prayer. יהיו לרצון לפי ביתי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון לפי ביתי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri vegoani, mehiu leratzonim refim refi, vehegion libi lefanecha, yihiu leratzonim refim refi, והגיון ליבי לפניך. Our Torah reading this morning is from Shoftim, which means judges or magistrates. It is also the first Shabbat since the beginning of the month of Elul. This is the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah and the high holidays. It is a perfect time to take stock of this past year to begin preparing for the high holiday season. As you look up at the sky each night and you see the moon growing and growing and growing, and then finally shrinking and shrinking and shrinking when we reach a new moon. That new moon will be the first day of Rosh Hashanah of the new year. As we prepare for the Torah service, you may choose to rise, or you may choose to remain seated. We are not in the presence of a Sefer Torah, So I would be remaining seated as I'm leading the service, but you may rise out of kavod Torah, out of honor for the Torah which we are reading. אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Adonai oz le'amo yitem, Adonai yivavech et amo v'shalom. There is none like you among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will bless our people with peace. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדול אדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. And this morning for our Aliyah L'Torah, I'm going to ask everyone who everybody who feels that this world we live in is in need of justice this time, everyone who is working toward improving and increasing justice in this world, to lead us in the Aliyah. יעמדו כל האנשים שלרדוף צדק בעולם הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני, ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. אמן. שופטים ושוטרים, תיתן לך בכל שעריך, אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך לשבתך. ושפטו את העם משפט צדק. לא תיתן משפט, לא תכיר פנים, ולא תיקח שוחד, כי השוחד יעבר בין עיני חכמים ויסלף דברי צדיקים. צדק צדק תרדוף למען תחיה וירשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. This is one of the most famous lines from the book of Deuteronomy, indeed the entire Torah. As we mentioned in our Torah study this morning, it is often in pieces of sacred artwork which adorn houses of justice, lawyers' offices, offices of those who fight for justice in this world in all forms. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof is a motto of the Jewish people. Justice, justice you shall pursue. Our pursuit of justice, of fairness in the world, is a measure of how well we are following God's commandment, because it is a commandment. No Jewish person in the world is exempt from this commandment to constantly be in a state of perfecting justice. We seek to build a just world, a world which is fair to all people, in which the same rules, the same privileges, the same punishments apply to every single person equally. We know that we are not yet living in such a world, but we are working with ever more dedication every single day to make sure that the justice we seek is the justice which exists in the world. We know that God's justice is perfect, that in the mind of God, the God who sees all, knows all, understands the consequences of everything that happens in this world. We know that in God's mind, there is no judgment except for perfect judgment. As we enter this period of Elul, we recognize that it is an act of love that God has granted us the power to do tzedek, to bring justice into the world, make the world more fair, more equal, more closely resembling the ideal which God hopes for in us, that we can use this time, this month, as the moon waxes and wanes over the course of the next month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, that we can use this time to improve the world that much more. We rededicate and refocus ourselves on this activity. The word tzedek, again, as we discussed in the word justice, tzedek, as we discussed in our Torah study, is connected with the word tzedakah. One of the best ways that we can improve this world, improve our souls, improve the life of those around us is by engaging in tzedakah. And that is especially potent this time of year, by finding our own generosity, and not just our generosity, but our sense of justice to restore to the world a sense of fairness, of economic justice, economic fairness, of legal fairness, of fairness in all matters, that we can make the world more equal between all people so that nobody is punished who does not deserve punishment, nobody is rewarded more greatly than others for the same acts, for the same righteousness. By building such a world, by engaging in tzedakah this month in particular, we elevate our souls and prepare ourselves to enter the Yamim Noa'im, the days of awe, which are quickly approaching. This Parashat Shoftim lands exactly at this time of year to serve as that extra reminder that we sometimes need, that the time for justice is now, that the executor of justice is you. Each one of us is obligated each day to make sure that we are doing all that we can to give tzedakah, to prepare the world for greater justice each and every day, each and every year as we enter this new year, which will be 5781. May it be a world of great justice in this coming year. At this time in our service, we take a moment to pray for all of those who are in need of healing. Just as we know that God's justice is perfect, we know that God's judgment in God's wisdom in creating our bodies is perfect. However we are created, although each human body is created differently, which in itself is a miracle, we know that each human body has been created with deliberation and intention by our Creator. That we exist in this world in the form that we exist in for a purpose. There are no accidents in the mind of God, who created us with wisdom. And we know that God sustains us with lovingness and mercy, with chesed and rachamim, that we ask for God's healing to be with those who are in need of healing at this time. We know that only God can provide true healing of the mind, body, and spirit. And even as we do everything that we can to serve God in this mission of healing, in developing medicine, in using the precautions that we know through medical science can improve our health and the health of those around us. Even as we take all of these precautions, we recognize that health and wellness are in God's hands. With this prayer at this time, you may share the names of all those in your own circle of concern who you know are in need of healing, whether it is healing of the body, mind, or spirit. And you may post them in the chat, you may post them in the Facebook post. You may say them aloud or say them in your hearts as we say this prayer. As I pause in the Hebrew of this prayer. Mishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, ve'Leah, v'yivarech et achonim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimaleh rachamim alehem, v'chachlimam u'lerabatam u'lehachazikam. Vayishlach lahem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf, hashta b'kala u'bizman kariv, v'nomar amen. May the one who brings healing from the high heavens bring healing and peace to all those who are in need of healing, as we say, amen. We now prepare to end our Torah service, and end our prayer service as we make our way towards our Omeg social. I hope you will all stick around, join us for the Omeg in just a few minutes. Etzayim lamachazikim ba v'tomecha meusha acheha b'chenoam v'chol tzivoteh shalom. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Hades Hades Yameinu Hades Yameinu We rise for the Aleinu. This is also a great time to make sure your drinks are poured and you're prepared for our Oneg, our Kiddush and Oneg. We rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adam ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. At this time we say the mourner's Kaddish in memory of all of those who are no longer with us, although in death their life lives on through our memories and the blessing that they continue to bring into our lives. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their lights long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest nights, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways to remember. If there are those who you are remembering at this time, please say their name aloud or typed in the chat, or you may say their name only in your heart, and God will hear the names that you share. יתגדל ויתקדש שמך בה, בעלמא תברך חיותך ויאמך מלכותך, בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן חביב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם ולעולמי עולמים, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי בקודשה ובריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, ואבירם לעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to all the world, to which we say, Amen. If you have not already used this time to gather your kiddush, to prepare for our oneg as we join together, this is the perfect time to do so. I've got my coffee here, which I think is a fine kiddush in the morning, of course. It's a Shabbat kiddush. It is a holiday. It's a celebration. However you choose to celebrate, you may do so at this time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. אמן. לחיים ותיאבון. You hopefully will be able to stick around and join us on Zoom. If you are joining us on Facebook or YouTube platforms, this would be a great time to jump over to Zoom so that you can join us for a few minutes for our Oneg Shabbat. But we are going to stop streaming at this time. Shabbat Shalom.